since I have filmed or recorded anything. As you can clearly tell by the title, today I'm going to be bleaching my roots. They are overgrown and they need to be gone and done with. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you do or don't know, I started doing my hair myself at home after a hair disaster at a salon where my hair just looked absolutely horrible. If I can find a picture still, I'll put it up like somewhere here or something. My hair was like patchy, there were brown patches, it was orange, it was a whole disaster. If you see me looking over there, it's because my viewfinder's over there and I'm trying to make sure that I stay in focus because my camera doesn't autofocus. So if you guys catch that, I'm sorry. From then on, I started doing my hair at home. Everyone's in quarantine, so everyone's kind of forced to do their hair at home if they want to do anything to it. I've had about maybe 6 colors over the course of this year that we've been in quarantine. But saying that, I do want to preface this video by saying that I am not a hair professional by any means. Today's video is not telling you, oh, you should go and buy these products and you should do your own hair at home. Look at more than just one video. If you feel like you're confident and you've done all your research and you feel like you know what you're doing, like I feel like I do, then go ahead, get the products. Everything I'm going to be using in this video I recommend. I've really only used 2 at-home bleach kits, and the one that I'm going to be using today, which I'll talk about in a minute, is the only bleach kit that I've found that's very user-friendly. Everything is prepackaged, but I'll get into the bleach that I'm using in a second. I have it right here. The first tip I will say, this is just something that I learned. Before you go and buy bleach and slather it all over your head, please do a test strand and see if your hair can take the bleach and just make sure it doesn't fall off. And in fact, I feel like a test strand can also double as seeing how long to leave it on for and see how long it takes for your hair to lighten to the desired level that you want it to get to. Also, look at the bleach that you're buying. Don't buy 40 volume. It's just gonna lighten really, really fast and you're not gonna know what you're doing and it's just going to possibly burn off your hair. Now, over on my Instagram, I actually did a poll about maybe a month ago, a couple weeks ago, where I asked people on my Instagram if I should film a video doing my roots and show my process and everything, because I always get questions on my hair and how I do it and what I recommend. And like I said, again, I want to reiterate, I am not a hair professional, but people do like the way my hair comes out, so I always tell people do it at your own risk. But I do give whatever tips and tricks that I've learned for my hair. When I first dyed my hair, it was only like down here, like my ends, that were purple. That was my first color. And from there, I slowly went up my head and now I do my roots and I love when my colors come out really bright and really nice. Speaking of, the product that I'm going to be using today is the Arctic Fox Bleach Please Complete Hair Lightening Kit. So in this kit you get the Bleach Please 35 Volume Cream Developer, you get the Bleach Please Cream Bleach, which is this little bottle right here. These are pre-measured, so you just mix these together with each other and makes the bleach. And then they also give you gloves, like real good gloves, and directions. I have learned not to use all of it in one go. The first couple of times I've done my hair and a friend of mine's hair with this bleach, I just kind of poured all of it into the bowl and I would get through about maybe half of my head or half of my friend's head before the bleach started to get frothy in the bowl, and when it gets frothy, it kind of stops working. So I stopped doing that. I started just kind of measuring out and putting only what I would need or use in different parts of my head and then save the rest of it so I don't waste an entire box of bleach. So yeah, that's another tip that I suggest, especially with this. But I do appreciate that it comes in resealable bottles. So the other things that you are going to need if you are going to be doing anything to your hair is a brush, a bowl. The kit comes with gloves, so if you don't have gloves, then that's convenient. And the other thing I suggest is getting some clips and then hair ties, just to tie up your hair and move it out of the way. So I'm going to section my hair and show you guys exactly what I do. Okay, so I've just gone off and sectioned my hair. So I do a part down the middle and 2 parts on the side. So essentially I have 4 sections. So 2 in the back and 2 in the front. I usually would start in the back and do my back pieces because if you do or don't know, the back of your hair is thicker and darker, which means it's going to take a little bit longer than the front to process because the front is thinner and it's the part that's the most fragile and it's the part that you need to keep an eye on the most. The back is usually what I start with, but for the purpose of this video and like making it easy for me, I'm going to start in the front today. And I'm only doing that because some people still section and they do the front and then they go on to the back while the front is processing. I can't do that. So I do either the front or the back first and then rinse out that section once it's light and then move on to the next section. And that's only because I don't like to leave it on there longer than necessary, and if I'm doing one section at a time, I can keep an eye on my hair better and get it to the desired lightness without over processing my hair. So I'm going to start in the front, and I'm only going to be able to film probably just me doing the front section and maybe some of the back because trying to manage my camera and not dying while I have bleach all over my hands is going to be a little difficult. One more thing to add, if this video ever gets to Brad Mondo or anybody that's a hairdresser, anyone will tell you that maybe you shouldn't put 35 volume developer on your scalp, but I've used it before. It doesn't burn me, it doesn't do anything to my scalp, it really doesn't even tingle. It might be because of all my dandruff, but 35 volume didn't bother me, so the fact that this is 35 volume, it's fine for me. It's just a personal decision that I'm making. I think normally Brad suggests 20 volume lightener on the scalp, but I'm just gonna use what comes in the kit because it works for me and my hair is kind of dark. So yeah, that was it. Okay, hi. Narration me here. I'm just going to voice over these parts. So here I'm just brushing out my hair. You always want to brush out your hair and the sections you made before you start putting bleach on them. So here I'm just mixing up the bleach. I only put a little bit from the bottle just so I don't waste any. I'm just taking thin, small sections of hair and putting the bleach just on my root area and trying not to get it on my previously bleached hair, so my red hair. At first I wasn't going to do foils. I was just going to put the bleach on my roots, but I realized that my regrowth was a little bit longer than I thought. So if your regrowth is anything longer than mine, I would suggest using foils so you can put the bleach exactly where you want to put it. Foils are also good for incubation and keeping in the heat, and make sure that the bleach doesn't dry out. This is the result of doing my roots. I'm not sure how yellow it looks on camera, but in real life it's not that yellow. And it doesn't even need to be platinum either. I'm just putting the same red color over it. This shade of yellow works pretty well. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the back of my head. As you can see, I got it a little bit on the back part, as you can see by this here, but that just means that when I put it in a foil and I go and I do the rest of the parts that are still dark, I don't put any on the yellow parts that I got right here. So that's my steps and my process when it comes to doing my roots. Now I'm going to get the back done, and I'm going to probably only get like a few clips of me doing the back, but essentially it is the same thing as doing the front. Make sure you use small sections. Make sure you're using a brush to put on the bleach. Make sure you're only putting it on the parts that you want to lighten. So that's the front of my head, and essentially I'm going to do the same to the back. And I will be back here with the finished roots, with them being done. So here are my two back sections. I just wanted to show you guys how I section my hair. And now I'm just putting on the bleach on the back sections of my head. I'm using my viewfinder so I can see the back of my head. I don't know why I never thought of this before. I've been using 2 mirrors and that's really difficult. Something else I would like to add is don't be afraid to lay the bleach on thick. Like, I mean, put a lot of bleach. If you put a little bit and you think it's only going to lighten a little bit, you're wrong. So the only thing that's going to do is make your hair really patchy. So lay that bleach on thick. So after about maybe 20 minutes, I took the foils out so you can see how my hair turned out. It looks really yellow on camera, but it's really not that yellow in real life. Okay, so this is the finished result of my hair. This is the side, and then this is the back. I chopped it a little bit since the last time you guys saw it. I was kind of going for not a complete mullet, but like I want a little more of a framing to my face. So that's essentially what I did here. I think it looks really, really good. There's not too big of a difference between my roots and the rest of my hair. There are some parts that are a little darker of a red and some are regular red, but that doesn't really bother me. If you guys have any questions or want to know about any of the products, I'll make sure I link everything down below in the description. So this is the finished look. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer any. And yeah, see you later.